social media where people think that they're hearing an argument between people and they're wondering whether or not Nolan is one of the people in that argument. You just described that you had another friend, not Nolan, another friend who was in and got into a dispute. Is that video the other argument that you were talking about?
Yes.
So,
That-
but is that Nolan in the video?
I can't tell. It's too far away. But in that video, I feel like the voices are too clear. Like from the side, it's too clear for it to be that far away, for it to be Nolan arguing. And then also that altercation, it sounds just like my other friend that got into the altercation on the boat. And they were trying to, like, as he was in that altercation, I was calming him down. They were trying to get him out off the island. They were trying to get him back to land because he was just losing it. So
Describe that. That's kind of interesting. What was that about?
He was just very hostile. Like he was just like really like mad. Like they were just trying to, like, the parents on that boat were trying to get him out.
I'm curious if the police have. I know they said they're still investigating. Did any investigators ever speak to you about what you saw that day?
No, sir.
Really?
Okay.
Cops have not talked to you yet.
No, sir.
That's odd.
I don't see why the cops would have. I don't see why the cops would have to talk to me. I mean, obviously, like, like I had said my plea, like, because whenever I had talked to the people at Sunheard, it was whenever the body was discovered, and the autopsy people and all those people were there.
Well, I'll tell you why I'm surprised. Because you knew Nolan well, and you knew that he was friends with these guys who were the last ones to be around him before his body was found. And I would think they would at least want to know, hey, just the things we're asking.
Right.
Did you ever hear of any of this stuff? It's odd to me.
Just to gather information.
Yeah, that the cops wouldn't have contacted you. Yeah.
And that's fine. Like, I'm completely fine with that. Like I said, I have nothing to hide. Like, that's my boy, and I want him to find justice. Like that. Like this whole case thing. Like whatever. Like this whole situation, and none of this adds up to me. So like, it's really hard. Like for like people to just like keep on saying things when like none of it adds up, honestly.
All right, so the dude name is Jayvon. Now Jayvon is talking about two arguments that he's saying are separate, and one argument is with some people on a boat that he is close to, and the argument that's played by video that we've all seen for that particular person being Nolan, he says it's too far away, but he's contradicting himself, and he said you can't make out who that person is because it's too far, and he said something about the side. You see what I'm saying? But this other argument on the boat is also his friend, and he describes that he's being belligerent and hostile, but he doesn't say why he's hostile or why he's being belligerent. And one of the TMZ hosts asked him, is that Nolan? You see what I'm saying? And he says no, and he begins to describe why, and what this person or what's going on the particular boat. Now this is what you have to be careful to see, because what's really going on is it's not two separate arguments. He's basically trying to diverge our minds away from what we're seeing and direct it to something that never happened, because the argument that we're hearing is the argument. It's the argument between Nolan and his so-called friends on the beach. You see what I'm saying? He says that the parents on the boat were trying to get him back to land because of his hostility. And he also says that as he was calming the person down who he's saying is not Nolan, all of this other stuff is taking place. So this is what you have to ask yourself. Jayvon is very close to Nolan, and which means because he's his day one, he would have the better ability to calm Nolan down. You see what I'm saying? Which shows you that the argument that took place between Nolan and whoever that was over the phone, he was right there. But he's trying to make you believe that Nolan is nowhere near him. He's trying to make it seem as if the person who he's calming down is not Nolan. Listen.
Jayvon, have you seen the video that's been going around social media where people think that they're hearing an argument between people and they're wondering whether or not Nolan is one of the people in that argument? You just described that you had another friend, not Nolan, another friend who was in and got into a dispute. Is that video the other argument that you were talking about?
Yes.
So, but is that Nolan in the video?
I can't tell. It's too far away, but
He can't tell. It's too far away. Come on, man. Now listen to this. He can't tell if that's Nolan, right? But now he's finna describe an argument that's taking place on the boat as if these two arguments are happening simultaneously.
in that video, I feel like the voices are too clear. Like from the side, it's too clear for it to be that far away, for it to be Nolan arguing. And then also that altercation, it sounds just like my other friend that got into the altercation on the boat.
His other friend that got into the altercation on the boat. You hear that? Now watch this.
And they were trying to, like, as he was in the altercation, I was calming him down. They were trying to get him.
As he was in the altercation and I was calming him down. You hear that? He was calming the person down on the boat, right? Because you can't see an argument taking place on a boat, but you can hear and see an argument taking place on the beach. That happens to be Nolan. And that person who he just clearly said he was calming down, right, has to be Nolan, which clearly means he was right there with Nolan while he was having the argument.
Out off the island. They were trying to get him back to land because he was just losing it. So,
Describe that. That's kind of interesting. What was that about?
he was just very hostile. Like he was like really like mad. Like they were trying to, like the parents on that boat were trying to get him out.
I'm curious if the police have.
So, the guy just asked him, what was that about? He totally dodged that question. And he just began to describe the person's demeanor and characteristic. He did not describe what it was about. You see what I'm saying? This young brother knows more than what he's saying. And I think he was put up to it. I think he was possibly threatened. And if you go back and you find that video on YouTube, you'll see that he keeps looking in a direction as if someone is behind the camera. And he's taking visual prompts through eye contact, you understand, and mouth language. You see what I'm saying? This young brother is lying. He's lying. There were no 2 altercations. It's called deflecting. The argument that you saw and heard was Nolan. It wasn't the argument on the boat that he's describing. And he's saying that the argument that happened too far away couldn't have been Nolan. You understand? Because the argument happening on the boat, the voices are too clear. So it couldn't be him. That's bullshit. What happened was, you were right there with Nolan while he was saying, give me my freaking phone. And while he was hostile and belligerent. Why? Because of his phone and whatever else they were doing to Nolan. Trying to get him to take drugs, or whatever. They had clearly antagonized that brother. And you were right there. You didn't ride there with him. You didn't leave with him. But you were close enough to him, you understand, to know what was going on. And that's what you're hiding. You're hiding that. See what I'm saying? Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, man, because we gonna get to the bottom of this. The independent autopsy should be in real soon. You understand? And all the truth that they trying to hide concerning this young brother's disappearance and demise, you understand, is about to come to the light. Peace, family.